Command and Conquer. I mean, Command and Control. Yeah, it's the bootleg version. Welcome back. This is not Doom 2. This is Hell to Pay. Or as I typed it as a bash script, or batch script thing, H2P. Which just does the job of making sure that the demos for the game run right. That's it. I did the same thing with Perdition's Gate, and honestly, it was an alright idea, instead of just typing Doom 2 for Doom 2. Does this not sound like the first level TNT Evolution to you? That's how you know. Same composer guy. Whatever happened in these tracks, like, whatever happens to, like, mods that have their own custom music? I really like when people do that. I don't mind if you borrow from another place, but if you make it yourself, it's like, damn, dude. It's like, where'd I hear that track before? It's an original. I put it on the YouTubes for everybody to extend and download. This is a little silly. This is probably one of my favorite tracks in this mod. Because it'll slow down and it'll go do. Not really a fan of open box combat, where the strategy is just, you better fucking run. It's okay if they're all projectile like in Heretic, but since we have hit scanners in the bunch, that doesn't really seem like it was meant to be that way. Ah, who cares? It just looks pretty, doesn't it? Look at all the people who died. Many of them died. Oh, have you seen the Cacodemon? It's a giant eyeball. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Krako skipped leg day and went right into eyeball day. Only train the eyeballs, you need nothing else. Reminder to do more Mario 64 shit. But you know... Yeah. So about talking and hydrating. You know, I did a little thing yesterday where I decided to basically hydrate a little more than how much... So like, say you weigh, say 200 pounds. Let's just use an example. Say you weigh 200 pounds, or... I don't know what the math would be if you're kilos, but... Sorry. But I'm going through ounces anyway, so I'd have to divide the liters, whatever. I guess if I gave you a fraction, I could tell you, or you could use the conversion rate yourself. So you're 200 pounds, right? So then that would translate into you drink 200 ounces of water a day. Now, that's more water than you might think. You're like, oh yeah, I hope I can remember to drink that much, like, because you don't think you're that thirsty after like a few. If you're getting like mitral and you're trying to like overcorrect to make sure, you know, no antidiuretics like coffee mess with it, that ends up going up to like 250 just to be on the safe side. And then you're like, why am I drinking this much water? And you know, you think it'd be enough, but then you wake up in the morning and you're still thirsty and you're like, did I do enough? I can't spend my whole life on the sauce. I mean, the liquid clear water stuff that's not Everclear. Just water, not vodka. Just water, I swear. So this H2O stuff, I need another way to imbibe myself. So I'm just putting in like 0 to 1 gram sugar mixes. So it's like I can at least taste it. But no, the thing is, I want to keep talking for extended periods of time so I can get this out, because talking is not difficult. Talking for long periods of time is difficult. It's not because I run out of stuff to say, it's because I'm running out of the ability to say. At a certain point, my mouth is like, I can't do it anymore. Or the vocal cords are like, no, please. So, I'm just going to see what kind of herbs and spices can help with that. So far, people are like, okay, chamomile. I'm like, I'm already doing chamomile. I do chamomile for other shit. Just any herbs. Maybe I could ask some, like, theater people or opera singers how they train their voices. Or something. Yeah. I literally need vocal training. It's not like I need public speech training, because that's more of a confidence thing. I just mean literally larynx endurance. That can be trained. At least so I can get to like 8 hours of speech a day, then I think I'm okay. Beyond that, I make no promises. But like, yeah, it's just because the talking part just means video's the done deal. And somehow it's more tiring than playing a really long first-person shooter. Like, how? You'd think is the equivalent of weightlifting, but with your tongue, and it's not. It's more like it's more like jogging. Yeah, it's like verbal jogging, verbal jousting, you might say. So I think some of the ways to ease that is to not just yell at random, not do too many voice impressions. Just you know, kind of whisper like this. You know, if I have to whisper like this, you know what I could do? Well, no, because if I whisper, it's not that you won't hear me, it's that it'll be so relaxing that I'll fall asleep while talking. You whisper, someone's like, oh man, that's so relaxing. Why you whisper? And it's like, you're right, that is relaxing. And then you just whisper yourself to sleep. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that, where their own voice puts them to sleep. It's like, oh yes, today we'll be playing Doom. You know, we got the super shotgun, and you know, we see many lasers that are winning to the hell base. And you know, if you keep talking like that, I'm gonna put myself to sleep. And I do not need help doing that.
So we have to run the balance. I at least want to be able to enunciate in a way that I can be heard or understood. But, you know, and you never think of that kind of problem until you try doing this for a couple of years, and you're like, wait a minute, what do I do then? Because, you know, the whole reason I started this is because, well, it's almost like I anticipated the AI stuff because, or not AI, we gotta stop calling it that. Narrow AI. Okay, the narrow AI stuff. That way I can be technically correct. Because, you know, you can't trust a human's game input anymore. For me, it's not even about the copyright, like, gray area. It's about the, did a human do this? That's actually a much bigger problem when you're making a gameplay video. So now I can only prove it by talking over it and assuming that no one can actually copy what I say. Or I can at least say enough over time that unless you had an AI trained on me only and nothing else, you would have no chance of proving I'm not human. And even then, I can say stuff it can. I don't mean like stuff that would be censored. I don't mean like that. I mean like, as a friend said, it's like, you're way too creative for AI. It's like, thanks man. He knows who he is. It's like, I want to give shoutouts, but it'd be like, what do I shout out for? Like, his website? His crossword business? It's like, some guy. Maybe his workplace? Like at an airport? I don't know.
How do you shout someone out who doesn't really have, like, a claim to fame other than, you know, the various things that they do on the web, or just, what their job is, or that they're just cool guys? How do you do something like that? It's like, oh, shout out to my friend, you know, he's my friend. I don't know.
My only thing about shouting out friends is, well, I can't do enough of it. My only thing is that, you know, picking and choosing. Where there's too much time in the day and too many friends in the universe, or too many people in the universe to potentially make friends. There'd just be like, yeah, some of that is not neglect or absence. Some of that is literally, what if you just like people, or you like working on stuff and you're better at doing it than liking people? That's, I think everyone realizes that at some point, beyond, you know, working for soul-crushing things. It's doing things that aren't soul-crushing, and then you have to divest who you talk to.
I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. But, as a reminder, I am available for collabing. I would rather collab over video game properties, to be honest with you. But I have... people have asked me to do, like, voiceover for stuff when I know I won't get paid. And it's not even really a voiceover anyway. It's just more like... they want me to read stuff. It's like, okay. But... and that's in between them, because that's their project and not mine, and I'm here to be there to be part of it. But I also want to do the other way around. Like, I want to... first of all, I have to get someone who can even do stuff that I do. I don't want talking the same way I do. I'd be like, you know, you select games that I can do that are also cooperative multiplayer, for instance, and then we talk about it and have a good laugh. I don't want you to do that in place of my single-player stuff. I want to do that for co-op projects, which there are campaigns for stuff that are co-op only. Like, say it was like Overcooked, for instance. There we go. There's a good recent example. So that could be up to 4 people. A 4-person co-op situation. And you have 4 people room talk. Like, that would be my idea of collabing for my channel. For real. And your ideas are different. I don't even know. If it's not video games, I don't know what you need me for. Maybe for a podcast? You know what? Yes. Actually, yes. I am taking podcast invitations. I don't think I can run... Like, I think technically I could run a podcast, but that's not the problem. The problem is, you know, me and whatever guests I'd have to make, like, a gentleman's agreement. Not to talk shit, if you know what I mean. Shoot the shit for sure, but I mean, like, oh, fuck those guys. It's like, well, I mean, yes, but also... like, it's like, I have to be responsible for you when you're your own person. I don't know. So that's a trouble with collabing with me. Because unlike if you... That's a cool image. Unlike if you just associate with me, but if you, like, if we condone each other at certain things, then I think you have the right to ask me about stuff regarding other person. Or it's just like, he's in cahoots! It's just like, my brother in Christ, I don't think it's important as you think it is. Or, I don't know, I don't think I've been in that situation where someone's like, hey, you did this thing, get out of here! Maybe once in its entirety did I have to think about such broad concerns like that, as they affect me directly. That was not like something to do with like the world exploding. So, did I mention I really like this music? Yes, sometimes I will quick load when I get hit a little too hard, and I feel like that's not fair to me when I could have dodged a giant fucking missile. I wonder what these levels are like on Deathmatch. I don't think Doom levels are good for Deathmatch, unless you make them how they did with Quake, where they specifically make Deathmatch maps, but then, as one person put it, it's just like, just making Deathmatch maps kind of cramps on the single-player level style, and he knew it was going to happen. You know, because then you had Quake 3, and then, well, and then we just, you know, ended up with arena shooters, and then, like, those stopped being a thing. Really. I mean, they technically are, but it's like... I'm not going to go into competitive dynamics where the game is defined about how people play them as opposed to the design of them. So I won't! Next subject, please. One part of this place. This Trident switch confuses me. It's green when it goes down, and it's red when it goes up. And there's a Trident motif fucking everywhere in the game. Trident chewing gum. Tridentures. We have 3 dentures in one mouth. Sharks love him. Sharks love to replace teeth that they don't have after wasting them on flesh. Dentists hate sharks! Yeah. Shark dentist. The job that you would never want to have, but realize how interestingly important it could potentially be for the preservation of shark species. Who knows? We all talk about save the whales. What about the assholes of nature? Save the sharks. Save all the asshole animals. Save the wasps, man. I'd say save the vultures, but vultures are more like nature's anti-hero. They do a dirty job that no one would want to do, which is to eat corpses. So, you know, vultures are more heroic than you take them for, but that doesn't mean they're friendly. So save the vultures too. Save the rat. I'd say save the insects, but there's a lot of insects, so I don't know which ones need to be saved. There's too many of them. There's more insects than humans, so really I can't judge that for you. And that's saying a lot, considering how many of us there are. There's infinitely more insects than just like, ah shit, maybe insects rule the world. They would if we weren't here. Nah, I don't know. I heard that Corvids are sentient or self-aware enough. I'm like, you know, maybe we should all have a Corvid in our life. Have these relatively smart animals. Like, well, I think of a Corvid as about as smart as like the smartest 12-year-old, which is pretty good if you've seen Gifted Children before. So about on that level, where it's just like the intelligence is there, but the wisdom has to be. Yeah, I think maybe the Corvid would have a low wisdom but a high intelligence stat. I think that makes sense. What do you think? Do you think I should just play as a Raven man? I don't know. I know that Raven software is great. Play those and petition Raven software to get out of the Call of Duty mines because they won't stop messing with them and be like, make more Call of Duty games. I'm like, where's the Heretic and X? And they're like, I don't know, brothers. I just work for Call of Duties now. Joke's on you when Microsoft buys you and then they actually decide to make Heretic. How about that? If Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard, and then the Raven software guys are like, we're free! It's like if Scotland was like, okay, finally we're free of the UK, joins the EU. God damn it, we're supposed to be independent. Shit, you know, or something. It's like have the fire in the frying pan, but on a national scale. Oh God, no. What about that time when they tried to split up Spain? Although I feel like that's been tried a few times. Oh, okay, so sometimes in these playthroughs, I forget whether to put the intermission at the end or the beginning. So, if you're missing that, or if it happens too soon, just watch the next video. Check the next few minutes of the next video, and then just stop there and come back. But it'll get covered regardless of which flip side it's on. Only the font has changed, the text exactly the same, just go with it. We should be on our way to getting out of Earth soon. In the next few levels. I don't understand the whole split between the first two parts of the thing when I feel like it's a 3-part Doom 2 system. Oh well.